Alexander Isach disappointed with Newcastle as Liverpool get transfer encouragement. Liverpool are trying to sign Alexander Isach from Newcastle in a blockbuster summer transfer. Alexander Isach is currently contracted until 2028. Alexander Isach is reportedly disappointed with Newcastle's failure to offer him a bumper new deal. In what could prove a critical development, the 25-year-old has not signed a new contract amid mounting speculation over a move to Liverpool. Isak is currently tied to St. James's Park until 2028. However, the Reds are set to test the club's resolve after making inquiries about the Swedish striker's availability. A bid is expected in the region of £120 million after the star scored 27 times last season, including in their League Cup final win. According to The Sun, Isak was initially promised a new, improved package by the club's former co-owners, Amanda Stavely and Mehrdad Godusi. They sold their club shares in March 2024, with new sporting director Paul Mitchell then said to have taken over negotiations last summer. However, one of his first key decisions was to stall talks with Isak over an extension. Mitchell reportedly believed his £130,000 a week wages were sufficient and was wary of PSR regulations. For the latest breaking stories and headlines, sign up Express LFC newsletter. Amanda Stavely left Newcastle last year after talks with Isak. Mitchell left his position at the club last month by mutual consent. Isak and his representatives are said to be disappointed by the club's failure to honor what he was previously told. Only Mohamed Salah scored more goals than Isak in the Premier League last season. His total of 29 was 6 better than the Magpies' 9, and yet the current differentiation in wages is staggering. The Egyptian star is on around £400, 000 a week at Anfield. While the Reds are unlikely to match that figure in any offer to the former Real Sociedad man, they are likely to pledge to increase his current deal. Isak has remained tight-lipped on his future throughout the saga. During the season, he wasn't paying attention to media speculation and was just focused on his form and team results. Manchester United dealt huge blow in bid to sell Jadon Sancho as Juventus advance on deal to sign winger Francisco Conceição. Juventus are reportedly on the verge of reaching an agreement with FC Porto to sign Francisco Conceição on a permanent basis, which has cast doubt over Manchester United star Jadon Sancho's switch to the Allianz Stadium. The 21-year-old impressed Juventus's hierarchy during his loan spell, and his familiarity with the squad have prompted the Serie A giants to prioritize his acquisition instead of Sancho's. Juventus, closing in on Conceição, views Sancho as an alternative target, winger ready to take a pay cut to join Juve. What happened? According to Sky Italy, the Italians are in advanced talks with Porto to sign Conceição, and all parties are moving positively towards finalizing the deal. Moreover, Ben Jacobs claimed that although Everton are ready to activate Conceição's €30 million, £26 $35M, the player is not keen on a move to Merseyside and only wants Juventus, the bigger picture. However, conflicting reports have emerged from Italy suggesting that Juventus may not be forced to choose between the two. According to Football Italia, while Conceição is closer to a deal, the club is still monitoring Sancho's situation at United and could move for both players, depending on outgoing transfers and financial flexibility. Nico Gonzalez is expected to receive a substantial offer from the Saudi Pro League, which would free up both space in the squad and funds on the wage bill. And with his departure on the cards, Juventus would have more flexibility to accommodate another high-profile arrival, with Sancho fitting the bill. To further bolster their spending power, Juventus are also engaged in discussions with Sporting CP over the possible sale of midfielder Alberto Costa. The transfer could bring in additional funds to fuel Juventus's recruitment drive, particularly in their pursuit of Sancho. Did you know? Sancho's situation at Old Trafford has reached a tense standstill. The winger, who joined Manchester United in 2021 for £74 million, $99 million, from Borussia Dortmund, has 1 year left on the contract. He is reportedly demanding a severance package worth at least €5 million, £4/$6M, to terminate the deal early and enable a move elsewhere. However, Sancho is said to be open to a significant salary reduction in order to facilitate the transfer. Reports suggest he is ready to lower his annual income to around £7 million, $9 million, approximately £180, 000 per week, a drop of over £120, 000 per week. Juventus, for their part, have tabled an offer of £5 million plus performance-based bonuses, totaling just over £130,000 per week. While the gap is closing, it remains to be seen whether both parties can reach an agreement that satisfies all financial considerations. What next? In terms of transfer fee, Juventus have reportedly proposed an initial payment of €25 million, pound 21 MORM/dollar 29 EM, with further bonuses, which falls short of United's valuation. The Premier League side is nearing the financial ceiling of their summer transfer budget, having spent heavily on the acquisition of Matheus Cunha, and with Brian Mbeumo expected to follow. Offloading Sancho could provide much-needed relief to pursue further additions. Liverpool plan to submit record-breaking bid to sign Alexander Isach. Liverpool have reportedly made their first approach to sign Alexander Isach from Newcastle United and could now break the British transfer record for a second time this summer. Liverpool make first approach to sign Isak. Whilst the initial consensus was reportedly that Newcastle United's attempted move to sign Hugo Ekitike would not leave the door ajar for Isak's exit, Liverpool didn't seem to receive that message. Now, according to David Ornstein, the Reds have made their first approach to sign the Swede in another big money deal. As things stand, Newcastle's stance, as it has always been, is that Isak is not for sale. But Liverpool's decision to make their approach may yet have loosened their grip on one of the Premier League's hottest talents. From not for sale, a record-breaking £120 million price tag has now been mooted, which could hand Liverpool the encouragement they need. Liverpool's admiration for Isak is far from new, and it certainly isn't a surprise. If there was a weakness in Arne Slot's Premier League winning side last season, it came in the number 9 role, as Luis Diaz was often forced to play out of position to lead the line, and Darwin Núñez continued to struggle. Now that both have been linked with moves away to Bayern Munich, and now AC Milan respectively, however, Liverpool may finally have the funds and room to welcome the ultimate solution to their striker problem. In one summer, the Reds could go from Diaz, Núñez, and Mohamed Salah to arguably the world's best trio in Florian Wirtz, Isak, and Salah. There's still a long way to go before Isak becomes Liverpool's next No.9 comma, but that's not to say Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes don't already have their next trick plan. What Liverpool plan to do next in Isak chase? According to Fabrizio Romano, Liverpool will for sure submit a club record bid to sign Isak this summer and follow up their initial approach. The Swede is their dream target in a deal that could reportedly cost in the region of £120 million. Romano said on his YouTube channel, "For sure, Liverpool want to try for their dream target with an eventual club record bid. Liverpool have intention to try, and they made an approach with Newcastle." The transfer specialist then went on to reveal that if Liverpool fail in their pursuit of Isak, then their attention will turn back towards Ekitike. The Eintracht Frankfurt striker has been the subject of a £60 M plus bid by Newcastle. But the Magpies could now be facing a lose-lose situation up against the Reds in a ruthless mood. As the season approaches and the transfer window progresses, both forwards are likely to steal plenty more headlines. As things stand, however, in a transfer battle between Liverpool and Newcastle, it seems as though the Premier League champions have the edge. Arsenal make major breakthrough in Ethan Nketiah contract talks. Arsenal's teenage sensation Ethan Nketiah is reportedly close to signing a long-term contract amid uncertainty surrounding his future. The 18-year-old enjoyed a fine breakout campaign for the Gunners last season as he scored 9 goals in 37 appearances across all competitions. However, there has been speculation that Nketiah could leave Mikel Arteta's side, with his existing deal set to expire next summer. This has only been fueled by the impending arrival of Noni Madueke from Chelsea, as well as Arsenal's strong interest in Crystal Palace's Eberechi Eze, both of whom Nketiah may find himself competing for a position with. Nevertheless, the Hale End graduate appears determined for his place at Arsenal, with contract talks gathering pace, as Nketiah signals his commitment to his boyhood club. The England under-21 international's priority was always to stay in North London, according to The Athletic. Arsenal are reportedly in the final stages of talks with Ethan Nketiah over a new contract, There have been doubts about Nwaneri's future, as his current deal expires next summer. But the 18-year-old is fully committed to fighting for a long-term place at his boyhood club. It is understood that Nwaneri, who played almost 1,400 minutes in all competitions last season, did not make any demands regarding his playing time during recent negotiations. Mail Sport reported last week that Arsenal hope they can convince the player to stay by offering him a 5-year contract or a 4-year deal with an option for a further year to be included. Arteta and sporting director Andrea Berta are said to remain positive that an agreement can be reached, while Nwaneri's team are also keen on finding common ground. Should that be the case and Nwaneri were to end up signing a new contract, he would be the third Arsenal player to commit their long-term future to the club this summer. They have already seen fellow youngster Miles Lewis-Skelly sign a new contract that will keep him at the club until 2030. Fellow defender Gabriel has also put pen to paper on a new deal that will see him stay in M5 until 2029. Nwaneri joined Arsenal's academy at the age of 8. At just 15 years and 181 days old, he became the youngest ever player to feature in the Premier League when he came on against Brentford in 2022. Since then, he has made 39 senior appearances in total and scored 9 goals. Newcastle issues instant response to Liverpool transfer approach for Alexander Isach. Liverpool has confirmed its interest in signing Alexander Isach from Newcastle as Arne Slot prioritizes a new number 9 to add to his title-winning squad at Anfield. Newtown, Alexander Isach has been linked with a move to Liverpool. Newcastle maintains that Alexander Isach is not for sale this summer, despite Liverpool confirming its interest in a blockbuster swoop for the Swedish striker. Despite already spending almost $250 million on the likes of Florian Wirtz, Milos Kerkez, and Jeremy Frimpong, Liverpool's recruitment team is far from done and is now prioritizing a new number 9 before the start of the Premier League campaign. Isak has been linked with Liverpool before when Jurgen Klopp pushed for the signing of Darwin Núñez instead, and has remained on the radar, scoring twice against the Reds last season, including in the Carabao Cup final. According to The Athletic, Liverpool has not yet made a formal bid for the striker, but have approached Newcastle with interest about striking an agreement for $161 million. Yet the Telegraph reports that Newcastle is holding firm in its message that Isak is not for sale. It is claimed that the Magpies feel Liverpool's inquiry is a ploy to upset the striker, who is not pushing for a move at this stage. AC Milan table offer for Liverpool striker Núñez. AC Milan table offer for Liverpool striker Núñez. AC Milan have made a move to trump Napoli for Liverpool striker Darwin Núñez. Al Hilal are also interested in the Uruguay international, who is available from the Premier League champions for €70 million. Saudi media sources state Al Hilal are turning to Núñez as an alternative to Victor Osimhen, who was available from Napoli after last season's loan with Galatasaray. However, Milan have made a first move, offering €60 million for Núñez in recent days. The proposal was immediately rejected by Liverpool. For their part, Napoli have been pushing to agree terms for Euro 50-55 AM, though Liverpool are standing by their current €70 million valuation. Liverpool slap huge asking price on Harvey Elliot amid West Ham interest in double Anfield swoop. Liverpool want £50 million, $67 million, to sell Harvey Elliot this summer amid interest from West Ham, per a new report. Liverpool asking for major fee. West Ham eyeing move for England. U21 star, also interested in Tyler Morton. What happened? Per the Daily Mail, Liverpool want £50 million for Elliot, but would accept a fee of £40 million, $54 million, for the England under-21 international if a buyback clause were to be included. West Ham are interested in signing the midfielder, and also have interest in his Reds teammate Tyler Morton. The bigger picture. West Ham are keen to strengthen and reinvest following the sale of Mohamed Kudus to Tottenham. The Irons are flush with cash, but the Reds are also aware of it, meaning their negotiating position has been strengthened somewhat. Elliot, though, struggled for minutes last season and only managed to make 2 Premier League starts. Did you know? Morton is also an England U21 international, and he made 5 first-team appearances for the club last season, although none of them came in the Premier League. He has previously been on loan at Hull City and Blackburn Rovers. What next? Liverpool play their next preseason game against AC Milan on July 26. Whether Elliot and Morton are involved remains to be seen.